Hi everyone, welcome to a very special Saturday edition of Qua. I obviously made a little bit of an effort today, not with my hair so much. What was that tendril? Anyway, but giving full comme des garçons realness for today's Qua. I'll try to get to everyone. I definitely would have tried to be a pop star, try being the operative word there. In real life though, like for funds, I probably would have tried to work in the government, maybe some kind of a diplomat. I love Philadelphia, and I'm very proud to be from Pennsylvania originally. And my favorite place to shop in Philly is Joan Shep. I love Rittenhouse Square Park. And I'm really looking forward to when this is all over, dining at Jean Georges in Four Seasons. So a lot of people don't know this about skating, but some people rotate clockwise and some people rotate counterclockwise. I rotate clockwise, which is more of a rarity. And I don't know why it happened. It's kind of like being either right-handed or left-handed. As a skating fan, there are obviously skaters that I respond to more than others. However, as a commentator, I treat everyone fairly and judge them on the performance on the day. As a broadcaster, you cannot and should not and will not play favorites with anyone. In skating, you skate as if you have a metal rod through one side of your body and you kind of move for that rod and you position yourself to be stable on that side. And in ballroom dance, you move around that rod, if that makes any sense. I don't read as much as I would like to, and that's unfortunate. It's primarily because reading helps me relax and puts me to sleep. So I try not to read too much because I always have to be on fire. But my favorite book isn't much of a thinker. It's called The Charm School by Nelson DeMille. This asks how many tattoos I have and why. So I have 4 tattoos. I know I need a 5th one. The first tattoo I got says Sbogam, and that means with God. And my coach always said that when I went on the ice. And it's just a reminder for me to be strong. I was going through a really tough time when I got that first one. I love a big, drunken, amateur's night party on New Year's Eve, but tradition-wise, I always greet the new year with money in my hand, so you have an auspicious year financially. And fish is always the first, or a sea product is the first thing I chew. When all of this started, I was actually growing my hair out because my stylist, Mariola, who does my hair for the Olympic Games, she and I do lots of crazy stuff, but we were growing it out for the Tokyo Olympics that were supposed to happen last summer. And then I just wasn't getting it cut and didn't get it cut, and I don't know if I will. Tara and I were in Rio filming some stuff for the Rio Olympic Games, and we were being driven around in a minivan, and it was just really funny, this little shtick that we had, her calling me mommy, and also I do act very mommy sometimes, but if she would wear like shorts that were too short, I'd say, "Mommy hates it." And there have been a lot of low points in my life, whether they're failures professionally, disappointment in myself personally, failed relationships, whatever they may be. You have to remember who you are and start there, and work for the person that you see in the mirror, not whatever's going on around you. There are 2, really, Israel and Greece. And Greece is someplace that everyone has gone, it seems, that I know. And it's so lovely, but I just haven't had the opportunity yet. And the same with Israel. Israel is definitely sooner on the travel list. It was glorious. I have Russian TV at my house. So I woke up and I watched the Russian National Figure Skating Championships because I was interested and I love figure skating. And then just had a really chill, relaxed day with my family and ate too much. The tattoo on my wrist actually needs some touching up, so don't judge me, but it says Yabudu. Oh, it's backwards in the thing, but Yabudu, which means I will. So I want it as a reminder, I will live, I will love, I will be strong, I will be happy, just, I will. I will! I don't get stumped very often or have a moment where I don't have anything to say, but like syrup for breakfast foods or like dressing, I like ranch. I'm not a very gullible person, and I like to think that I have common sense, but my emotions and my heart always overpower my brain. And one lie that I tell myself is that everyone is just good at heart and no one has an ulterior motive, and that is so often untrue. I loved Babar, the elephant. I also loved My Little Pony. When Ariana Grande started wearing that high pony and just whipping that hair around, I went right back to childhood looking for those beautiful toys of the My Little Pony. Let's have some fun, this beat is sick. I wanna take a ride on your disco stick. Filthy. My favorite Lady Gaga song is Bad Romance. I also love Judas and Teeth and Love Game and Poker Face and Alejandro. I'm scared of sharks, and there's nothing anybody can say to make me not afraid of sharks, because I don't care how important they are or how they're only like tasting you to see what you are, but not trying to kill you on purpose. I'm still scared of them. But if you have a personal fear, you gotta punch it in the face and step over. I certainly wasn't always a good sport, especially if I lost an event and didn't think that I deserved to lose. But to me, being a good sport is being able to appreciate the goodness in your competitors or in your rivals and applaud them for that. I actually am not obsessed with my hair. I can't do it myself. And I mean, it's just, you know, the hair of an aging white man. I mean, it's getting thinner and I have to protect it more and stuff. But my best hair moments come from Mariol Aziz, who does my hair for the Olympics. My dog's snoring right over there. Probably Anastasia Romanova, and just been like, where'd you go? Or Edith Piaf. I think she would have some incredible stories for me. And I'd make her sing. There was one book about Russia in my elementary school, and in the back appendix there was the Cyrillic alphabet and how to draw and pronounce each of the letters. So I guess I started learning when I was like 6. But then it took a long time. Practice makes perfect. Practice makes perfect. But it's just something I'm passionate about, and it has helped me learn the language. This asks what musicians from Russia, Ukraine, and Belarus I like the most. I love Sergei Lazarev, and he sings in English sometimes too, for all you out there that don't speak Russian. Polina Gagarina, Alla Borisovna Pugacheva, Tima Belaruskich, Alexeyev. It depends how deep you want to go. I wanted to know how to read and write, so that was another hurdle I had to jump over. But if you just want a conversational ability, watching Russian movies or listening to their music helps a lot, because when it goes in your ear, it goes straight to the brain or out your mouth. The movie I can suggest is Moscow Doesn't Believe in Tears, Moskva slezam ne verит. That isn't hard for me at all, because I've never tried to be anything other than myself, on camera or off it. And sometimes if my life's falling apart off camera, I have to pull it together for on camera. But for the most part, I am just so honored to do what I do that being myself isn't hard. There are a lot of them because I'm quite particular, but the two main ones are when people are condescending, like, oh, I know better than you, little lady. Ugh. Also, when people don't appreciate the things that they have. No matter who has more, who has less, appreciate what you've got and what you've earned in this world. This is going to sound super random, but I hate beans. I hate beans. I don't like beans, and I don't like really fishy fish. I do love a chemical peel, and I'm actually due for one right now. I can still feel like all the Dancing with the Stars makeup like deep in my pores. But Dina over at Daniel Gillespie Plastic Surgery takes care of my chemical peel needs, but it's so refreshing. I'm gonna get dangerously close to the ring light. There's a scar right there. And I got it when I was young, and I watched gymnastics at the Olympics and decided that I would be a gymnast. And I tried to do a flip and just jumped face first into a television. I have weighed in publicly on politics before, and I do find that they divide people at times unnecessarily. I think we all just want to get out of this life alive, be successful, be happy with what we've done, and be proud of it. And I'm not going to trust candidates to make that happen for me. I have to make it happen myself. Unfortunately, I won't. And for those of you who don't know, I am the self-coronated Queen of Bryant Park. And I have a residency there, and I perform there every winter. And this is the first winter in a long time that I've not, and I'm missing it so very much. Fear motivates me at times, as unhealthy as that is. Like, oh, what if I lose my job? Then I lose my house, then I lose my car, then I lose my dog. And it's just, that will motivate me to work harder. But the main motivation in my life, despite being an athlete and getting it naturally, is to not be mediocre at anything. We're post-holiday, so there's a bunch of random stuff in there right now that I don't usually have, like cakes. But I have gallons of Icelandic glacial water, baking soda, some cheese, a couple beauty products, Evian spritz. Milk is always in there, sour cream, and I love Whole Foods. Well, this got my attention. Last week, somebody asked like who my ideal man is or what my type is. And I forgot to mention that I love like a strong nose presence on a face. But, you know, aesthetically speaking, Andy Samberg or Adam Driver. My best friend Meg Carlozzi and I have discussed this for years. It's called getting small arms. Like when you're nervous or afraid to talk to your crush, I feel like just reach out to your crush, say, hey, how are you? And then you get to talking and you find out they have a crush on you. I can do everything in a mask that I can do without wearing a mask. Whether that is skating a full program, whether it's performing in front of people, whether it's dancing or going to the grocery store, it's not that big a deal. Wear a mask. I actually started competing a few months after I started skating at all. because I was older when I started at 12, I kind of had a lot to learn really quickly. It wasn't just the technique of the sport, but it was how to compete, how to handle nerves, how the politics of skating. I have done a reality show about my life. It was called Be Good Johnny Weir. The first episode was a documentary film called Johnny Weir, Pop Star on Ice. And it basically chronicles my first Olympics and how I got to my second one and then the life thereafter. Watch it. I don't. It's in my personal life. I do enough negative stuff to myself that I will not take on anybody else's negativity. But if you have to interact with that person, nod, take it on the chin, and then do what you want. I really don't know what relaxing is. There are days that I have off from work, but then those are filled with errands and making sure that my renovation is going smoothly at my house, etc. I'm the first person on vacation that's like, okay, what else can we do? I'm tired of this beat. Basically, the show night is Monday night, and then Tuesday you immediately start the next Monday night's dance. So you get Tuesday to Sunday, really, but you have to be ready to show a video to production by Thursday, so you've got 2 days to learn a new dance, really. The jive and the salsa. The salsa, because I really had no interest in learning how to salsa, and I didn't like either song that was selected for me for the salsa, so I just wasn't that into it. And the jive was so much footwork, I actually forgot it like right before we had to perform. I've been on a lot of beautiful vacation destination sort of places. I have my favorite cities in the world, but for vacation specifically, I've been all over the world. I mean, Bali stands out as like a tropical one, but Iceland is my favorite. When I was young, I focused a lot on what other people thought about me or said about me. And I would tell myself to love yourself so much more so that none of that matters. And I think that is what I would tell my own kid. I've not been to Alaska or Hawaii, and it hurts my heart that I'm missing Alaska and Hawaii. I mean, I hear that there's some great salmon fishing up in Alaska. Yuri on Ice, of course! The most immovable part of my schedule is my evening come-down practice, and that is like a long shower, feels like hours of moisturizing, and that's the only part of my day that I can fully control. So I control it, and I cherish it so, so much. I get asked to do this a lot, and unfortunately I don't have Spotify, but if Spotify, if you see this, I'll totally do a playlist for you. But I still devour my music via iPod with the spinny wheel. So I have to purchase it, download it, and put it onto iPod. And I choose my choice. Team Edward for sure. I mean, Jacob got ripped and it was super hot in those movies. But then he fell in love with her daughter. So I want someone to love me like Edward loves Bella for my life. Plus he glitters in the sun. I will say that, I'll preface this by saying that I'm not much of a baby person. I don't like coo over babies and want to hold them immediately, but my brother having a baby was pretty special. And yesterday was the first time I got to hold him, and he was much warmer than I thought he'd be. Well, Santa brought me a new hand vacuum and one of those robot vacuums, the circle ones that kind of travel around your house. I've been skeptical of them because they're trying to take my job, but it's still pretty cool. I only have one crystal, and Britt actually gave it to me at the beginning of Dancing with the Stars to protect me, but it's a smoky quartz, and it helps keep me grounded and safe. And I love it because Britt gave it to me, but also I feel like it definitely has some woo-woo with it. I eat what I want, and I know that's because I don't want to eat a million other things to make up for the one thing that I actually wanted. So if they have the side effect of being low fat or low carb, great, but I don't really go looking for that. My favorite healthy snacks, I love just fruit and vegetables. I love pomegranate, I love carrots. So for those of you who don't know, a tasty cake is a very like Pennsylvania thing. It is a dessert that's cellophane wrapped, so little cakes or cookies or that kind of stuff. And my favorite tasty cake is the butterscotch crimpet. My house is under renovation, so I bought myself like flooring and cement or whatever goes into it, trim, paint. But I did buy some bomb chandeliers I'll share with you when they're up. We miss doing our podcast too. It got hard for us to schedule being on separate coasts, and 3 hours makes a big difference. So noon for her is 3 in the afternoon for me. That's when I start cooking dinner. It got complicated, but I hope one day it'll come back. I doubt I'll ever have children, but you know what they say, make a plan and God's gonna laugh at you. But baby boy my names are Luca, Alistair, or Oslo, and baby girl name Anastasia, or Anastasia in America. If you ever want to make me cry, just turn on The Notebook. I've seen it a million times. I know the choices that Allie's gonna make. I know the deep felt, deep heart love, but it gets me every time. Of course, I focused on quads and fought to land quads, and I'll post a video of me doing a quad next. But in my day, quads were not as important as they are now. They were the thing, and looking back, I wish I'd pushed myself harder, but yeah. We filmed a special celebrating 100 years of U.S. figure skating. It airs tomorrow on NBC at about 2 o'clock Eastern, but check your local listings. And we celebrate 100 years of skating. And plus, I have a very special announcement during the show as well. So enjoy it. So those of you who skate may not know this, but a skating blade is actually curved ever so slightly. And there's actually a rock or a little divot up near the toe pick to disconnect the toe pick from the rest of the blade. And if you push down on the ball of your foot, you'll stay in place. Well, if I've learned anything from Outlander, I know that taking medicine back in time was very important to Claire, and I think it would be very important to me as well. We could save so many people and change history. Tjoma actually speaks English and Russian. He knows commands in both languages. It's just a matter of him listening to them. He's a king, so listening to this peasant isn't always on his radar. There are closeted people in every realm of our society, and it's very unfortunate that they don't have the support system they need to feel strong enough and empowered enough to come out, or they don't feel that within themselves. But in sports in particular, I always felt that I wanted the focus to be on what I'd accomplished and not what I was. And it wasn't so much being in the closet, but it was redirecting people's focus to what I've made of myself, not what I was born with. Also, in a judged sport like figure skating, you may be being judged by people that are decades older than you with different ideas about sexuality or from a country that isn't as progressive as yours, and you want your skating to speak for itself. You don't want your sexuality to overpower what you become. It's so funny, everyone, when I posted the heart video the other day, everyone was like, oh my God, what's wrong with you? And for me, I think normalizing heart health is very important. As an ex-athlete and using my heart in a very different way before, I want to make sure that it's still healthy now, so I get it checked regularly. Life is lonely, whether you're surrounded by thousands or you're by yourself in an abandoned cabin somewhere. Life is isolating and can be hard. And as long as you remember that you aren't alone feeling that way, you'll feel better. And get those people that you love and love you back for all the good reasons. I was actually just talking about this to someone the other day. I love all the indoor things. I love cleaning and housekeeping and cooking and that kind of stuff. I don't like laundry that much. But anyway, all the other stuff is good. But I love looking at a beautiful outside, but I hate sun and I hate dirt, so no gardening. Aside from figure skating, of course, I love watching diving and gymnastics, but a few years ago when I was working the Super Bowl for NBC, I got a hug from Rob Gronkowski and his arms wrapped around me twice, and instantly I became a football fan. So I watch football. If I wasn't a commentator, I definitely would try my hand at coaching. I love watching some of my peers like Yevgeny Plyushenko, Tomasz Werner, Stefan Lambiel, Brian Joubert. I love watching them coach because they have instilled the things that they know into their skaters, and they get so happy when they perform well. Absolutely. I think it's a sad state of affairs if the only reason people do things in their lives is to tell other people about it. That's bragging. I was told that that was wrong when I was little. But really, I have a drive to achieve and accomplish so that I can achieve and accomplish. My dad and my little brother are kind of built-in security for life. But when I do have bigger events and there are going to be a lot of people around, I do have people that look out for me. Just because I can't do what I do as an entertainer if I'm constantly looking over my shoulder. And I have really unfortunate security risks, but it's part of being me. Disappointing people is my biggest insecurity. Growing up as a gay kid, you're constantly worried about how you being you is going to affect the people that you love and the people around you. And then to continue that as an athlete, I was constantly afraid of disappointing my coach or my fans or the judges. My favorite book growing up is called When Hitler Stole Pink Rabbit by Judith Kerr, and it's her own story, but it's World War II through the eyes of a young girl fleeing the Nazis and traveling through Europe with her family. And it inspires bravery and remembering where you come from and being proud of it. My biggest takeaway from 2020 is that, first of all, I'm glad it's almost over. but also despite all of the hardships that we've all faced, when people rise up and look after one another, it makes me believe in the human spirit. That's enough qua for now. Thank you guys so much for your questions and for spending time with me, and I hope I see you back here next weekend when we'll delve into more important things. Shawn Mendes, lipstick, whatever it might be. But I love you guys. I hope you had a wonderful, wonderful Christmas, and I'm sending you so much love and strength for the coming new year. Enjoy the rest of your weekend and have a great week. Woo! Oh, it's off.